About this time last year, I had the sobering thought that the pace of life does not slow down. I was in my 30s, halfway through the most energetic and high impact season of my life, and I knew something had to change because I wanted more and I had some goals that I had to get traction on. In another 30 years, how old was I going to be? I didn't have that much time left to get the ball rolling on things that I had been praying about, wanting to do, and just getting back to where I knew I needed to be. So I made a decision. My life would not look the same in 6 months from now. And by the grace of God, it hasn't. It has changed a lot. So let's get into what I did to make this transformation. Hey friend, I'm Emily, your bold life and business coach, and this is the Thoughtbot podcast. I help Christian women build purpose-driven lives, businesses with God at the center. So if you've never subscribed or never seen this show, make sure you hit that button so that we can stay connected, and I look forward to growing with you and supporting you and getting to know you more. She was sitting in the car in the grocery store parking lot, just scrolling another lunch, another big milestone. She wasn't jealous. She was just disappointed, not in them, but in herself. Notebooks full of ideas, voice memos full of fire, but no traction, no movement. Only one question circling her mind. Maybe I'm just missing my chance. Maybe this just isn't for me. And that woman, she was me. And that's when God was whispering to me, you're not late. You need to slow down and you need to stop letting fear keep you stuck. That was laid on my heart. I can remember the feeling so perfectly, and it almost brings me to tears every time I think about it. The world pushes deadlines. If you haven't built your dream by 30, 35, 40, forget about it, right? Isn't that how we feel? Like your life is more than halfway over, just get on with it. But Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us there is a time for everything. God does not rush. He builds roots before he builds fruit. And maybe you're in this waiting season like I was. Maybe you're on a detour. Maybe you're trying to just figure it out. Maybe you feel stuck and like you can't make a decision. Maybe it's all about building your foundation, your healing, your refining, so you can build with God and not just for him. Let me be honest. I used to say I was waiting on God. I'll do it when, but I was really just waiting to feel brave enough to try and do things that I had thought about for so long. I didn't want the whisper. I wanted the billboard, the lightning strike, the audible voice, go here now. But Psalm 119:105 says, your word is a lamp to my feet, not a spotlight, just a lamp, one step at a time. Overthinking feels like wisdom. It feels like you're getting all these things ready so you can strike, but often it's just fear in disguise. You don't need a louder confirmation. You need to obey the whisper. I have a whole episode, I'll tag it here, that you can check out all about how to hear from God. But here's what I started doing to actually change my life 6 months ago and to have the transformation that I've had. First, I stopped letting fear drive my decisions. I decided that no matter what the outcome was, I would trust God's sovereignty over it. So I said, Lord, whatever this line of choices makes, whatever these actions lead to, I trust you and I don't care what the outcome is. I removed my expectation because I have huge ambitions, huge expectations, and I knew that if I was going to try to reach a goal that I had and really put traction to it, that I didn't want to not have the outcome that I wanted. So instead, I said, I don't care what the outcome is, which took a lot of mindset work, praying to the Lord and asking for him to push my ego and my pride down and just allow me to build for him, that I was fine with whatever the outcome was, because that was the outcome that God wanted to give me. And I surrendered it to him. I surrendered the outcome to him. The second thing I did is I prioritized my physical health. For the most part, I'm a healthy person and people in my life think I'm like a health nut. And I definitely probably err to that side, but there are seasons just like everybody else. Like I'm not perfect. I'm more of an 80-20 gal, but I had allowed just bad habits that I knew were making me feel bad. So I'm a late night snacker, and that never leads to feeling good in the morning. It never leads to good actual sleep. And I had to cut that out, which is very hard to do. I also took into account how much processed seed oils I was using. Seed oils cause a lot of inflammation in your body, a lot. Brain fog, which is a big one I was battling with, feeling way too tired throughout the day, energy levels just depleted, and your body just not running well. So I I eliminated all seed oils in my diet. Humongous difference. So I just like really took into account some things that I knew I needed to tweak that I just kept putting off. I just kept putting it off. And I just decided I'm not putting it off anymore. I want to feel better leading up to summer, not doing this rush of trying to get myself in better shape to feel good in the summer. Like, that's silly. I should feel good now. So I made some changes to really help me impactfully change my energy level and my brain fog. Those were two things I really wanted to focus on. Night and day difference. My ability to concentrate, be super productive went way high, and I just feel more energetic. So I can get more done during the day and feel positive about it. The next thing I did is I got strategic. I created a time blocked schedule that wasn't too rigid because I know me, but was rigid enough that I was like, come heck or high water, I'm sticking to this time blocking schedule. Like, no more just looking at my computer like, what am I doing on here? Or sitting, I don't know what to do right now. I kind of was in that space, and I think a lot of that had to do with brain fog and having way too many ideas and not the ability to execute them. So I was just spinning. I didn't know what to do. And I lived like that for months. So I was just limping things along rather than really being strategic to grow them or to reach my goals. So I said, no more of that. Time blocking it is. That works for me. I create my schedule for the day, and I block out when I'm going to do specific tasks because I've got my task sheet. I've got the top 3 I have to do today, and then I go from there. So I also made sure that I have been a victim of burnout and my own self-induced burnout seasons. So I make sure that I work in boundaries around phone usage, internet usage, computer time, what I'm listening to. Like, if I'm listening to a lot of like heavy news or things that just aren't good influences in my life, I eliminated those because those drain you. They drain you mentally, emotionally, and yes, that impacts your physical health. So I decided, what are the things that build me up, make me feel energized about what I'm trying to accomplish? That's all I'm going to focus on. I'm going to eliminate pretty much mindless TV time. I give myself a certain amount of time at night to just decompress and watch my trash reality TV like The Real Housewives. But that's the only time I get it, and only if there's other things I do before then do I get that reward. And I've just stuck to it. I have stuck to making sure that my time blocking schedule also includes things like trainings and things that are going to help me grow so that I can pour into my coaching community. I can actually make headway on bigger projects I have working behind the scenes, like growing this YouTube channel, working on investment trading, and getting skill sets done that I've been wanting to do for a while. So I have gotten really good at setting healthy boundaries. And this has been a downflow because this impacted my family, and my family has better boundaries right now with our time. So it's been great. It's been slow, but things have shifted into a habitual formation, which makes it easier every single day. And that's what is so hard for most people trying to make a transformation, hit a goal, change a habit. It takes time to build new habits. So you have to be able to get the right type of goal setting so that these habits build momentum, but they're not such a far leap that you can't stick to them. You want your new habits to become just your daily mode of operation. And when you get a new habit to become that, it's so easy and it builds so much momentum. And that's exactly what happened. It wasn't instant, but momentum came and built upon itself. And so when I get serious about aligning my steps with God's timing and stopped waiting for this perfect plan, everything started to shift. I went back to my roots and launched my Substack, which is growing at a crazy, exciting rate. I'm so excited. I love writing. So I'm finally writing again consistently. I grew this YouTube channel with intention and clarity. I added 2 new streams of income in the last 6 months. And after years of prayer, I finally launched my group coaching community. And it's been on my heart for years. And it's called the Bold Life Collective. And right now it's still free to hop in. So you better click the link below and get in there. So none of that came from just having all the answers. It came from obedience, obedient faith, discipline, and making sure I built into this new system of habits, healthy things like reading my Bible, taking time off of everything and having dedicated family time every single day, meal planning, like establishing things that were going to help me be less frantic, less spread thin, and less constantly having to make decisions. If you can build out your day to where some things are on autopilot, it's the whole concept of like when you drive to work so many times, you drive to work and you realize, hey, I'm at work, and you don't even really remember the drive. These are just habitual formations. And once you can get to that place, you can add things, you can take away things, and it just becomes rote. So it just becomes this foundational system to your daily life. And if you're intentional about that, you are building good habits that are not going to cause you to burn out later down the road. So if you're listening to this and sitting on dreams, unsure of how to start, whether it's still even possible, if you still have any time left, the Bulk Life Collective is for you. And I am plugging that community group because it is amazing as for women who are ready to reclaim their mindset through biblical truth, build sustainable systems that fit the season that you're in right now, because we know seasons in life change. It's a place to take real action, not just a vision board. And it's to grow alongside other women who get it and who are faith-centered and have a mission on their heart to draw purpose for God and to love Him fully and to have a life built around that. So if you're tired of striving and second guessing, carrying it alone, then please check out the link in the description. And what if you didn't wait another 6 months? What if your breakthrough isn't a course, a plan, a guru, but in the next just simple one step, obedient step toward what God is asking you to do? The thing that you know you need to change, and so many people act like they don't know the answer. You know, if you get quiet, you know what it is you've got to change. You have an idea. And if you need help with that, get in the Bold Life Collective, because we're helping women accomplish so many myriad of things in their life right now. And I just want you to know, like, you're not too late. You're just getting started. Up until this point, it's been a lot of foundational work because that's the way that God is working. And I want you to drop right on time in the comments if this spoke to you, if you have a sense of refreshment and new energy to put into your day to day and to start these new habit forming systems and habits and routines. So don't forget to subscribe for more gospel-centered strategy and life coaching and business mentorship. And make sure to check out the next video because I know it'll probably speak to you if you clicked on this one. Bye for now.